Tell us what you know, what you're allowed to tell us about where you think these talks really stand right now.
Look, I think the leader was right. I think the administration is very excited that the Chinese have asked to come back to the table. I think it's a good sign from within the White House and from within the administration, which is all fantastic. Them, asking them to go to Shanghai is a bit of a question mark as to why Shanghai, but I think it's good that they're going
optics,
anyway.
Right?
Well, there's always Beijing, Shanghai. It's there's a bit of a question there, but look, I think we're making good progress. I think that.
What does that mean, though? When people say we're making good progress, what are we making progress on exactly?
Expectations are low for a deal coming out of this meeting, though. So, look, I think that the administration, I know from our administration, they want a robust deal. So something that's going to be small, I think is going to be something they're not excited about. And they're also, I think they're a little upset, I think, right now with the linkage of some technology companies around the trade talks. So I think they want to distance those conversations.
Do you think there's an opportunity for them to de-link the Huawei situation from these trade talks, even though they seem to be almost inextricably linked at the moment?
From our point of view, I think that's the goal.
And how do you do that?
Careful negotiation. Look, Ambassador Lighthouse has been a friend a long time. He's a very skilled negotiator, skilled lawyer, and I know that they'll do their best to make sure that these talks are not.
It's a harder thing to do after that Washington Post article came out linking Huawei with helping the North Koreans build out their infrastructure, their wireless infrastructure, right? I mean, to make the case that it should be decoupled, you got to make the case that it's not, first, it's not economic, and that it's not national security, I would think.
Yeah, look, trade agreements can be seen as economic agreements, right, and not national security agreements. And so if you look
But it was the administration's move to make it linked to a national security issue.
Sure, I understand.
So all of a sudden they're going to back off. That doesn't look good.
Well, look, I think that you have to move it in a way that's going to try to de-link them as best possible, because like there's a challenge there that may not be able to be overcome. Who knows? But a deal on economics can be reached, and I think that there's some optimism, and there's some reason for optimism on a deal. I think it has to be beyond small deal like some agricultural products and some issues like that, and then more robust on intellectual property and ways to keep them accountable to their commitments. So I think that again, the expectations are low for this week, but it's really good news. And
if you were to sort of get a calendar out and try to make a timeline of when you think something could be reached, what would even make sense? How would you even begin to map that out?
Yeah, so my expectation and my experience with China over the past 17 years, working in Washington's various capacities, is they love to talk and not do a lot of follow through. So I think that the leader is right. I think that we have a challenge, and that is they see the 2020 elections coming up. They're going to make a calculus as to if there's going to be a change in the administration in 2020, but I think again, I worked for this president. I think he's going to get reelected. So I think that the Chinese are now making that calculus, which is why they've asked to come back and talk to the ambassador.
Politically, if you're the president, President Trump, do you want a deal before the election, or do you want to wait till after?
I think he wins either way. I think, candidly, I can make the argument either way. But I think it's better for him to actually cut a deal on China but only a robust deal, something small.
But do you think that the Chinese say to themselves, "Okay, we have this 2020 election. If we can hold off long enough, we will somehow gain more leverage?
Oh no,
less leverage.
I think the leverage goes down after the re-election. I mean, the president would have no reason to hold back, if you will, on new expectations, new tariffs, new issues that are going to be could be more difficult for both domestically and internationally. So if I were China, I would cut a deal now.